23 years ago. This is the 23rd annual reunion of the Trujillo Tafolla family, of which one way or the other, all of you are members of that family. Some of you may not admit it, but you are, okay? Deal with it. Anyways, it was started 23 years ago, and many of you may not know why have a reunion? Why did it start? And at least for my brothers and sisters, we had the opportunity to live with our parents, Ademasia and Ventura Trujillo, and really our lives kind of coalesced around them and their home, and many of our cousins, aunts and uncles as well. And when they passed away, we saw that we were drifting away as well, and that the cousins didn't know who their other cousins were. So that was kind of the impetus, the rationale, the reason for thinking about a reunion. But that thought really came from one person, and that was my brother, Isi. He's really the one that reflected on it and said, hey, we have to do something to try and hold this family together, try and keep the values that our parents taught us, and to share those with the rest of the family. And so I'm going to ask him to step up here and kind of give us a little bit of why he started it, but also what all this means. Why do we have, medallions and this ceremonial staff, where did all of that come from? So I'm going to ask my brother, Isi, to come up here and give his explanation of the ceremonial symbols and what they mean. So if you would share those with us, I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else would.
Thank you, Roldan, and good morning to everyone. I'm sorry if I'm a little loud. I go by Isi Trujillo in this family. My professional life was Joe Trujillo, or as I was bestowed, Don Jose last year, and from now on I carry the title of Don Jose, and I'm proud of that. We did start this as a synergism to a lot of thinking from all of my brothers and sisters on how we ought to do this, but as I traveled and learned some things, one of the things that we wanted to do is find a way that would bring our heritage, our culture, and our roots to be present here every time about our family. And the best way to do it was several things. One is that we started with the mother candle, where we have the big candle here that talks about the ancestries, my mother, but our ancestors, and we have the big candle that will be lit after a while. And then we have individual candles for each one of the family, the children. So we have in our family of Ventura de Masa Trujillo, we had 9 children, 7 boys and 2 girls. I feel for my mother with all those boys, 7 boys, but and we have a candle for each one of those. Some of them are deceased now, 3 of them, and the boys are deceased. There's still 6 of us in our family that are here. Some of them, 2 of them could not be here today because of their health. My sister Lucy and our brother Tony Trujillo, or Antonio Trujillo. But we will have them, and I'm sure in our prayers today. So those candles will be lit also. In our memory table here, we have cousins, brothers, sisters of deceased that are here in memory, so we can bring our thoughts and prayers back to that. And we have individual candles, the green ones, that can be lit. After a while, Roldan will provide an opportunity for all of you to be able to come up and light in behalf of those that you you bring your memory here today. Hi, Alicia, nice to see you. And so that's the mother candle and how we started. The second portion of that is that we also have these ribbons and medals. I've come up with that many years ago. The medal has the inscription of Trujillo Clan Rancho de Chis, which is where we all grew up, where our ancestor Buenaventura settled there, and all of our family, all of those that are in that tree up there, branches, were involved. So there was a lot of people, that all cousins, neighbors, that were us, were either family members and so forth. But this medal signifies, in the middle is the church, the little church that sits still there, and it's pristine, and that church has been embroidered here by Julie Luna for us as a gift. And that church is still there in Chis, and they celebrate the fiestas once a year there in Chis, and that little church is embedded in this medal. That church was built by our ancestors, mainly the women in the village, and they did that as part of a promise for their husbands and their sons to come back safe from the wars in the past. And that's how that church was built, mainly by the women in that village. The black and white ribbon, I'm sorry, the red and black ribbon stands also for the bloodline. The red is the bloodline of the Trujillo and the Tafoyas, and all of that comes from it. The black is the mourning of our ancestors that have been deceased, and we will keep them in our memories from now on. So that signifies why the ribbons are the way they are. Every item, every symbol that we have here has something to do with our history and our culture from the past and also from the present. And I would like for the people that are wearing these red ribbons and black to stand up so you know who are here as the members of those senior class. You can see some of them. And these people are carrying the heritage of our ancestors, and they are called the elders of our group here, to be honored in that respect. The second portion of this is we also, through some help, as our family was growing and younger children were coming on to our lives, and we were celebrating those young men and women, children that were coming into our family, we decided that we would establish what we call the Century Tree, or the Century Kids. And these children were born 100 years after Adamasia and Ventura first, and then Adamasia. So these children that are here that are wearing, again, the same medallion, but also they are wearing a yellow and green ribbon, signify that they are the 100-year children or centennial children. And I would like for them to stand up, and they have a part here, and you'll see that with Roldan, if you could just look at that. Thank you. And these, we chartered them that they have a responsibility, and their responsibility is that 100 years from now and 200 years from now, these medallions and these ribbons will be passed on to the heritage of the Trujillo and Tafoya family. And the 100-year children will, their job and their charge is to keep the story going for us. And their charge is to do that and not forget about the heritage and our family and our roots. The other item that is important here is this staff here that Roldan, I think, talked a little bit of, we'll talk a little bit about it too, but this staff signifies also part of our heritage and our roots. This was given to us by one of our cousins. He is the only one that is the grandson of Buenaventura, which is down at the bottom of the tree. He is the only living grandson, and he has not missed a reunion here. He carved this out, and this is basically the essence of life from the desert that we grew up. It's got all the plants for us to be nourished. It's got on the Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of needs, we have all of the basic needs that are necessary to sustain life, and that's what this staff does. And then on the top of this is the eagle. And for us, the eagle has a significant area. Every year, we present to someone out here the Eagle Award. The Eagle Award is the highest and most privileged award that we give out. Several of you have been awarded this Eagle Award, I haven't been able to get one yet. I'm hoping that someday. But I think Philip was honored last year. Lee has been, my sister Dolores, and several of you have gotten Eagles Award. It is for outreach programs. When you not only give of your, when you really truly give of yourself is when you really give. And so these are people that have demonstrated behind the scenes and been giving to the community. They are always there, either helping out for various communities, nursing homes, hospitals, whatever it is. They go every day or every time they're needed, and they're there on their own, volunteerism. So we're very honored to have that type, and we honor those people every year with the Eagle Award, which is the highest one in here. I believe, Roldan, the last thing we have, which he will be part of that program, is that we have music, and then we have the Century Kids that are part of that music that will introduce the grounding ceremony. And that, from that grounding ceremony, then we go on to other parts of this program. I just want to tell you that I'm very thankful for all of my family, for all of you, for all the prayers that you have given for me during my challenge and my health challenges. I'm feeling pretty good today, and that's all that counts. And I'm very happy. I also know that there's a lot of people that have worked extremely hard to put this program, not only just yesterday, today, and tomorrow. A lot of work that has been done, and I want to thank each one of you. And I know Roldan will do that as time goes. But in my behalf, I thank you, Roldan, for all the years that you have made this family reunion even better than it's ever been. You are the one that, while some of us started and maybe thought about it, you're the one that's brought it to the quality that it is today. And I thank you for that. And I hope that all of you will continue to support us. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Beautiful.
You know, so she was, in a way, felt so, you know, not sorry, but worried for me. I guess, and caring for me.
Empathetic.
Yeah, there you go. That's the word.
Yeah. And always, no, they
She
always
is
ask
such a
about
good
you.
lady.
And
She is. Well, your dad is too, but she shows it in her
yeah.
eyes
Yeah.
and the way she is. And then when Valerie was extremely sick, and
Oh, that was
I was
awful.
sitting there with her in that room, and your mom shows up. And I'm sitting because they took her, Valerie, to go get another CAT scan or something. And we didn't know yet what all this was. She wasn't getting any better, and your mom stayed there, and I broke down. That's the first thing I know. she gave me so much strength. She came over and kneeled and put her hands on my head and shoulders and just prayed for me. They prayed. And it was the most beautiful thing, the most powerful thing. You know. She has such a wonderful way of praying for you.
No, she does. She definitely has a gift for that.
I felt so much better. And now I got
Yes, she did.
things got well.
Thank God.
Okay, what do you think you want to do?
Well, we've already talked about quite a bit.
Oh, we have.
But there's a few things that other people kind of brought up that I just wanted to ask you a little bit about. So when I was talking to both Roldan and to Lee, they mentioned, the moving, from
Cheese.
Cheese to Tier C, and but Aunt Dolores as well, and they were talking about why, and all of them said that it was because, your father really was, it was about the education and the educational opportunities for you all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, so I just wanted, if you wanted to add anything to that, like, what do you think, like, kind of led him to that decision?
Well, I think, and I agree with that, what they've said. I support that totally. I think if you look at the instilled values that they gave us, when the school was active in Cheese, and it stayed active even after we left for a few more years, but then it finally consolidated and closed. But if you look at that, my dad, wanted to be on the school board, and went ahead and either ran or find a way to get appointed to the school board. And one of his basic objectives, which was in a way, is to make sure that school was always open and that it would be the educational opportunity for that. But I think he also saw the handwriting on the wall, where eventually they could not do that, and saw that the plan for the future was the consolidation. And eventually the whole county became consolidated and the school buses started running. We did not have to do that, so we went to those first few grades in Cheese. It was all open school, where the older kids would teach the young. It's kind of it's an old approach that they're trying as a new
Exactly.
approach that is also a very good approach in a way, because just like a family where you have your older siblings teaching the younger ones and helping in that area and challenging them. I think in a way that happened to us in our community. So you're right, and I think he felt that, he was up in age and my mother was too, but I think it was mainly for the opportunity for us to have a better opportunity on education and an opportunity in life in that respect. And obviously, I think it proved it. And that we were able to do something beyond going to the 8th grade or something like that.
Edito also mentioned for him and his family that when they left, and he's older than you are.
Oh, yeah.
Much older.
Mhm.
But that when he left, it was very, very, very hard for him because he was already
Oh, yeah.
older.
He was probably in his 20s.
And yeah, he said he was like 17 or 18, and he
Okay.
went from being on the ranch to then working in the mine, and that was just very, very hard for him. But do you have any memories of him growing up, or not really? Like when you were in Cheese and they were there, or did he leave long before you were old enough to remember?
Well, he lived away, but he would come frequently. That's one thing that he was very active with his parents and the ranch. But he had a younger brother, Elotario, which is about the Ludus age, which is not too much older than Lee. And between Erito and Elotario, we were able to run around with them, and they were kind of like our older brothers and always protected us and took care of us in that respect. As well as some of mi tío Sofio's children, which is like Don Donicio Trujillo and Sofio, who's here, this evening. They were all as part of the group that were in there and always seemed to, we kind of all not ran around like, in G's, but they always made sure that Lee and I were always included, but also protected us from anything in that respect. They were like an older brother. They were good stewards.
Right. And then one other story that Bernie and Albert
Yeah.
told was about when you and Lee were living in Albuquerque together, and they went to visit you
Yeah.
for the state basketball tournament.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, we went to see that basketball tournament, and when we got back out, all the tires, I'm assuming that's what you're
Yeah.
talking about, all the tires were, and the rims and everything, the car was just sitting. Somebody needed them worse than we did, so there we were without any wheels on our car.
Which car was it?
It was Lee's car, such I couldn't afford a car.
Was that the one that that Dolores gave him?
Yeah, the Lourdes gave him a beautiful car. Oh my!
And it was that one
Yeah.
that he still
Yeah,
had.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah,
It is.
I didn't get that on tape, but as soon as
Yeah.
I turned it off, they told me that story, that you guys
Yeah.
were living in a little tiny apartment.
That's right. Yeah, we were.
And they went to stay with you. So about like your cousins, because I know before we really didn't talk a lot about when they would have come to visit, but they said they remember very vividly like coming from Baird or Grant County, all 3 or 4 of them, and and they would come and stay with you all and go out to the desert, and you guys would,
In the ranch.
here in Tier C.
Oh, here. I see. Okay.
Here
Yeah.
in Tier C.
Yeah.
That Albert remembers going to the ranch, like
Yes.
when he was 8, 9, and 10 years old.
He used to live with us.
And he
In
lived
the
with you,
summer.
yeah, in the summer, that he would go and stay for
So did
3
his
or
older
4
brother.
years.
Yes.
But the 2 younger said they just remember
Yeah.
coming here.
Yeah.
But are they much younger than you? Like, would you remember
Actually,
them being
Richard came over and stayed with us some period of time. Maybe not as long as Albert and Sonny or Eloy. Eloy basically lived with us, also with, and then Albert was the next one. And then Richard spent some time with us, and then Richard is pretty close to my age. I'm probably a couple years older. And then Albert is about Lee's age, and Tootie is right in between. So we all kind of grew up together, and all of these, as soon as we'd get together, whether it was at Bayer or at G's or in TRC, we were inseparable. I mean, it was just, we were very close.
So you remember going to Bear?
Oh, gosh. That was like, for us, for Lee and I, going to Disney World or something. To me, it was really, I learned how to ride a bicycle there, their bike. And they had this hill. I thought it was pretty tall, but now I go back and it's just a little, not much, but I thought it was, and we used to get up on top of that, and they taught me how to ride a bike, a 2-wheeler, without any, so there was a lot of things that we did together. And the thing that is beyond just the opportunity and I guess the privilege of being not only cousins, but also friends, true friends, is that as a young boy, because we were there, but you got to understand also the elders were there, my father and his brother, Villaldito. We called it Villaldito because there was another older Villaldo, but his name was Villaldo too. But Richard and Albert's and their father was Villaldo or Villaldito. But my dad and him would sit in the porch or whenever they visited, as we were in and out, running everywhere. But the thing that I remember is the respect and the care and the love that they had for each other when they sat and communicated. It was really something special. I remember that probably as vivid on how they treated each other. as a good role model for any of us. You know, and to me, I thought they were old people, but, you know, but they really sat down and talked and were able to communicate without being distracted or bothered by the commotion of, you can imagine it's, you know, what, let's see, 4 from us, from another 5, 9 kids maybe running in and out, sleeping you know, in a small homes. These aren't huge homes, and eating them out of the house, and probably when they went to ours, the same thing. But it didn't bother them. My mom and Tia Juanita, their mom, and my parents, they were tremendous. That's the thing that I think also sticks in my mind, is how they treated each other as brothers, as well as the wives too, my mother and Tia Juanita. They were good, solid. But I remember, because 2 men make an impression, especially if they communicate and how well they did. And that's one of the things that I would look and listen and really admire about that to this day. And I tell them that all the time. They remember it too.
Yeah, we did. I got all 3 of them in here, and that was good.
Yeah.
They had some good stories. Is there anything else you want to share? Because I know I have a lot. But is there
No.
anything else that you think that maybe we didn't talk about or left out, or?
You know what? No. The only thing is, you know, because it's been a while since that happened, and this is all a discovery for me, you know, my challenge that I'm going through. But I think what I've learned over this time, that in a way maybe it's a gift, because you know, God gave me this, you know, this challenge that I have, and I've been at it now for 3 years, you know, and I feel pretty good. There are days that I don't feel so good, but I think the strength that I've gotten is from my family and the prayers that come. But the gift, I think, the truly gift, is that I see my family in a much different way than I think I look at life in a much different way now. And I treasure every minute I spend with my family. You and Ben and the family of my brother Alvon have been a tremendous help through this challenge for me. I don't know, I'm saying this, I don't know how I can say it more than that, but I don't think that I could have been as motivated as I am if I didn't have this type of support that you folks have provided me. I mean, consistently. You've been there for me. You've prayed for me, but you've been there for me, unconditional. And for that, I'm grateful, and I thank you very much. You're a beautiful, beautiful lady, and you have your mother's spirit, I think, and soul. And I know you're working on it as it grows, but it's there, and I love you, and I have to tell you, you're truly a lot of help to me.
Thank you. I hope
And
so.
Ben, obviously, and the rest.
Yeah.
My sister, Alicia. I don't know. I don't think I could I wouldn't have the strength and the spirit that I have today if I didn't have that type of people surrounding me that help me.
Right.
That's really all that's new to me from that standpoint. That's the thing that I treasure and really appreciate much. And I pray, thank God, that I've been able to at least recognize that. I think I knew that, but it's proven to me every day.
Well, and you give and you give so much to everybody in return. I mean, I really, and I know everybody feels the same way. I mean, it's a genuine love and respect and concern, and we're very honored to be part of all of that.
You know what? I think the other thing, in reference to these reunions, it's really genuine, isn't it? These reunions are not puff or, they're they're really genuine. I can tell that whatever it is, the symbols, the process, everything has, and people respect that. And the respect that's going on in our family is tremendous, I think. It's really growing.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that?
Oh, no, very much so.
And the priest, what he said, just added to all of that.
Mhm.
And by the way, happy 20th
Oh,
anniversary.
thank you very much.
I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Happy
20.
anniversary. God,
Thank
that's
you.
wonderful.
Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Halfway there, maybe, or a
Hey,
third
listen.
of the way. We
That's
need to
okay.
get Aunt Valerie. We need to get Aunt Valerie.
You know, I don't even know where she's at.
She was over there. She said when you were done, she would.
Okay,
For a few minutes.
thank you.
But I think it would be good if you guys would do it together.
She said she'd like to do it by herself.
I know, so I
So
will
we have to
go
honor
get
that.
her. I agree.
All right.
And then maybe.
Triste, hermano. No volveremos a escuchar tu voz encantadora, ni gozar de tu sonrisa amigable, ni sentir tus abrazos cariñosos. Pero yo vengo como testigo de tu vida. A través del tiempo celestial nos juntaremos y desde el fondo del corazón hablaremos. Y nos contaremos todo, hermano, de nuestros tiempos infantiles, de los otoños dolorosos, cadena a cadena y paso a paso, como un rosario sin cuentas interminables, como un libro sin último capítulo. Y lloraremos por horas, días, años, siglos perdidos. Nos dejas un vacío, hermano. Nos dejas el silencio y la tristeza, pero también la esperanza y tu amor. Siempre vivirás en nuestras venas y corazón, hermano querido. Vaya con Dios.